Chris. It's all yours.
Thank you, sir. Well, I grew up around airplanes. My dad's a pilot. My sister and I both went through flight school. I didn't finish. Kind of one of my life regrets. But I find that airplanes are fascinating, especially one called the AN-225. I don't know if you've ever heard of this airplane, but it's the largest airplane in the world. It's 600 tons of aluminum and steel soaring through the air at 540 miles an hour. That's mind-blowing right there. Somebody has to land that airplane. And if it was me, I can tell you this, I would really be concentrating on how to land that airplane, because I'd be riding in a 600-ton bullet and trying to put it on the ground safely. The process that a pilot goes through to land an airplane is called an approach. And the approach is successful to the degree that the pilot maintains focus on that multifaceted process required to get that plane on the ground safely. Now, there's one thing that stands out about landing an airplane that is absolutely paramount, and it's called the attitude of the plane. Now, most of us know that altitude is this, distance from sea level. But attitude is this. And you can honestly say that if that pilot chooses the wrong attitude, he's going to crash, right? He might even have this attitude and just go whoop and stall out and then crash, especially with 600 tons. He's got to be focused on choosing that attitude that will gain him a successful landing. Similarly, at Sprint, our approach to sales requires that we be focused on having exactly the attitude and exactly the methods that help us perform at the top. So, with that illustration in mind, I want to introduce you to a presentation of the Hurstbourne Development Initiative, which, by definition, is a strategic, method-based approach to smart selling. I use the word smart selling because we believe that by working smart, we make more money. And we crowd the top of the leaderboard. So we're really focused on working smart. And yesterday I checked, Hurstbourne had 8 out of the top 10 in the district. Not to brag, but it works to work smart. So, 8 out of the top 10. I'm feeling happy about that. Now, smart people have something in common. Sorry, let me erase that. People that work smart have something in common. And it is this word, focus, which you've heard as one of the things that will help you get that extra degree. It's one of the things that's always required if you're going to go anywhere in life. You've got to learn exactly how to focus and exactly what to focus on. So, let's see if I have some slides. Focus, as we define it, is a purposeful adjustment that creates specific attitudes and methods. So I want you to keep these buzzwords in mind. Attitudes, methods, focus. And as we think about focus, I want to recap this with that statement. That our approach, similar to the pilot, requires a focus that creates winning attitudes and helps develop successful methods. Okay? So, now when I say, go out there and get focused and be focused, sometimes that's a little bit too general, right? Like if I said, hey, get out there on the sales floor and focus and get your quota well up above 100%, 130, make an accelerator, focus, 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 sell some accessories. Sometimes we say focus and we translate that into like sell a phone connect or sell an accessory. But when we have thought about what focus should mean, here's what we did. I actually gave our team 10 things to focus on. 10 specific things. And I didn't just randomly come up with 10 things. We actually sat down and thought these thoughts. What are the skills and disciplines of the top reps anywhere? If you took the top 10 skills and disciplines of the top reps, what would be the 10 ones that are characteristic of those top reps? And we took that list of 10 skills and disciplines and turned them into our focus points for this development program. So, essentially what we want to do is be the top reps because we know they make more money, right? So is that what you want? Now think, here's me, you're sitting here right now, and here I am every single month at the top on the list. And that's your place. And when you're number 1, number 2 feels not so great. But when you're number 68, number 67, number 67's, it's great, I'm number 67. When you're number 69, I don't care that much. Number 1, number 2, number 3 in the district, in the area, that's meaningful. And that's where we want all of us. We want this district to rule the nation. Every single month, the top rep in the nation will come out of this district. If we do this, and I guarantee it. I have absolutely no doubt that if you take on these 10 focus points and you create, whether it's personally or as a team as we have, a program that harnesses your mental power on these 10 skills and disciplines, and some of them are completely rudimentary. You're going to go, that's not that brainy. Right. It's a discipline. You just got to do it all the time. So let's jump into those, and I'm going to give this to you, and you're going to turn around and take it with you and do it, and I guarantee you'll be the top rep in your store, in your district, in your area, all the time. Okay? So, number 1, alertness. We define that by saying alertness is being aware to receive customers and phone calls in a continual flow. There's never an interruption. The interruptions are, I got to use the bathroom, maybe smoke a cigarette, take my lunch break. Otherwise, there's not an interruption. You're not standing behind your register, surfing through Facebook or texting. You're not back, it's fun. We go in the back and we shoot the breeze with the techs, or we chat it up with the ASMs or whatever. And that's fun, but that will cost you. I guarantee it. So, that's alertness. Number 2 is position. A little bit different than alertness. Position is staying in a selling position and not in the back break room, bathroom, or behind the register. So you've got to be conscious. Look, I'm not going to go use the bathroom 16 times. We had 7 people in queue yesterday, all day. I think there was one time I looked up and there was 5. The rest of the time it was at least 7, sometimes 9, sometimes 10. I didn't take lunch. I came in at noon. I didn't take lunch until 6:30. I absolutely had to go to lunch. And I waited 4 hours to use the bathroom because I wanted that next sale. I sold almost 700 in accessories, put 2 new lines of service and 4 upgrades yesterday. So you can make that choice. Now, your leads or whoever may say, go to lunch, and you're like, damn, I really want to get that next sale. That's position. Process speed, a little bit more into the realm of skill, not just isolated as a discipline. So as you develop your knowledge of RMS and the tricks that will get you through the process, you'll increase your process speed. But it's not just going from one customer to the next. Process speed is closing sales in the most efficient manner. Your goal is not to go from customer A to customer B to customer C until you get to customer D who wants to buy something. Your goal is to sell something to customer A in an efficient manner, then to customer B, then to customer C, and then when customer D is a random walk-in and says, I need to activate 4 lines, you're like, great, I've already sold a bunch of stuff. Now this will make it even better. Right? Next up, maximize opportunities. Probably one of the bigger focus points for all of us. We have found tons of business in just this focus point. And this is evaluating accounts and probing needs to create specific, appealing offers. Look at the RMS account. Learn what things to look for. Do they have a discount that waives that fees? Can I use that to help close a sale? Do they have TEP yet? And am I going to need to include that? Okay? Ask them questions that help you understand their needs and then create specific appealing offers. Take a 2-second break. If you've got to get up and walk out, we can do that.
We're good.
Y'all good? Okay. Next up, business development. And I love what Matt touched on this morning, just prior to this, because that's my focus point right now. At my store, every day I send out an email, I chat it up with my friends, and I say, I'm focused on business development. Got any input, send it my way. Ask me how it's going. I really want to get good at this because I know that this is a gold mine right here. I know it. There are tons of businesses out there just itching to switch carriers, and I want to be the guy that does it for them. So get this input in writing, get it in your head, make it a focus point, use your mental energy, and learn how to uncover business opportunities and leverage sales to them, right? Next up, product knowledge. Got to know what you're selling. I sold a Zoom the other day because I was able to point out what some of the benefits were against an iPad. We don't sell an iPad, so they had been to Best Buy. They said, we wanted to drop by here and see what you guys had. And I told them the Zoom's the best thing in the world. And I told them why, specifically, when they bought it. It was $400 sale on that, plus another $150 in accessories. So that's product knowledge. Offers made is just simple redundancy. Literally, every single customer, I was dealing with a customer that was mad, had waited 35 minutes last night, and was ready to leave. And in the time that I did her transaction, I offered her phone connect by asking about specific things that she has a home phone. I said, would you like to save money every month and have unlimited calling local and long distance? Yeah. Well, I talked about phone connect. She said no. I asked her about her Bluetooth, whether she uses it. I hate those things. They never work for me. I asked her 3 different things. She said no to all of them. But I was making the offers. I offered her a tablet. I said, do you use any kind of a reader, tablet, anything like that? Yeah, great. My husband uses one. What does he use? I tried to sell her one for him. So it's making offers to every customer possible, such as adding a line or Bluetooth. Travis Carter was saying the other day, yeah, I had a customer one time that was just paying a bill, and he was like, yeah, I'm just going to use the payment machine. He's like, okay, and he had this itch about maybe going and seeing if the guy wanted to add a line. He was like, so he said, all right, I'll go just pitch add a line to him. So he pitched add a line, and the guy goes, yeah, I need to add 5 lines. Let's go ahead and do it now. The guy's words in the door were, I'm just here to pay a bill. I'm fine. So offers made will get you higher sales. More of a skill here. Focus on developing this. Read about it. But closing ability is your skill that helps you move around customer objections. So the customer says, yeah, no, I don't like that little thing in my ear. And you go, well, let me show you something else. Maybe you'd love this. Just hangs on your lapel, stereos, you can listen to music. I actually run in mine. They kind of bounce a little, but they work great. So move around their objections, help them decide to make a purchase. In contrast, somebody says, yeah, I'm just not ready to decide today. You got to let them go. That's fine. Get their information. Hey, let me write down your name. I've enjoyed talking to you. And if I think of anything else that might help you, I'm going to give you a call and let you know what offers might come out because I know that interests you. What's your phone number? So you write it down. You put it somewhere where you can get back in touch with customers who are not ready to make buying decisions. So that's key. You've got to do that. Like I've closed 7 new lines of service this month just by following up. And it could have been 15. But I had like, 8 or 9 that were like, we weren't, I followed up on a guy the other day. Yeah, I think it was yesterday or the day before. And he was in last Thursday. Up to 5 lines. He was just wanting one for himself, but he had a daughter who shares a plan with her husband, so his son-in-law, his son, and his wife. I called him Friday, which was the next day, because he said he was off and he was going to come in. No answer. Saturday, no answer. I was off Sunday and Monday. I called him Tuesday, and here's what I got. You have reached the Sprint voicemail service of... So he switched to somebody else. So I didn't catch him. I tried. Referral and return is number 10. And this is also key. I asked a rep in the area that had been hitting top 5 in the area every month. I asked her, I said, what are you doing? Well, my thing is referral and return. She said, I make sure customers come back, ask for me. I ask them for referrals. Say, who else do you know that might want to have service through Sprint? You've got a great deal today. I can give that deal to your friends and family. Who would you recommend to me? And I'll give them a call. You take that full-on initiative. And if they go, yeah, I don't know if they'd be comfortable with me giving you the number. Oh, that's fine. Well, here's my business card. Tell them to come see me, and I'll give them a Thursday thank you or whatever. I'll give them this, or I'll do that, or I'll make sure they get a deal like you got. So get those referrals. We call that asking customers to give you referrals and to ask for you when they come back in the store. Don't hesitate to do that, okay? you're a professional, assume that they have enjoyed working with you, and this will also help your CSAT. Because if you're focused on making sure they come back and ask for you, you're going to give them the best service that you can. So look, I've gone as far as I possibly can to make sure this was the best experience for you today. In the future, make sure you come back and ask for me. I'll be your dedicated sales rep. How's that sound? Oh, that's great. I'll always ask for you, Chris. And they come in, I want to add 2 lines, and you know, the guy standing next to you doesn't get the activations because they asked for you. So there are basically 2 things that we do to roll out these things as a program. The first thing is we evaluate ourselves. We have a little sheet where we rate each other, rate ourselves 0 to 5 on each of the 10 areas. So say, well, in alertness, I guess I'm about a 3 because I could be more alert, but you know, I'm not like totally brain dead. So, but business and development, man, I'm just killing it. I know how to close those. I can smell one coming, you know, a mile away, and as soon as they walk in the door, I know exactly what to say and how to get them in. So I'm probably either a 5 or a 4. So I'm going to rate myself that. So we go through all 10, and we evaluate ourselves. Actually, I'm doing this backwards. The other thing we do is we evaluate a team member. And we actually ask a team member to evaluate us. And I have a little form. It's very simple. It has the 10 focus points, and then it has a place for them to evaluate you. You just give it to your team member. You say, hey, will you evaluate me on these 10 things? And they give you, and be as honest as you can. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I want your honest, candid input. And then they go, okay, you're a 2 in this, and a 4 in that, and a 1 in this, and a 5 in this. And you go, oh, dang, my 2 team members evaluated me as a 2 in this area, and I gave myself a 4. I better readjust that. Maybe I'll make that more of a focus and a growth area for myself. So this is really key. The evaluation process is key because you've got to know where your growth areas are, right? Because you can't grow or focus in something that you don't have a conscious understanding of, right? So evaluate yourself, and then identify your growth areas. Secondly, we make our commitments. We walk in the store, we clock in, we write up our daily sales goals, 2 acts, 250 and accessories, and I say my focus point today is business development. And then I walk out on the sales floor and I say, hey, my focus point today is business development. Check back with me, see how that's going if I'm asking customers the right questions, and hold me accountable to it. You mind doing that? Nobody ever minds. They're like, yeah, no problem. And then later on in the day, they look over at you and they go, what's going on with business development? You're like, oh yeah, thank you. That little tiny sense of accountability helps a ton. All of a sudden you're going, hey, by the way, where do you work? Hey, I tell you what, I've gotten really good, you might be lying a little bit, but I've gotten really good at setting up business accounts for our local businesses, and I'd love to offer you that premium service as well. It's like a red carpet service that our store does for our city. And how can I do that for you? So you start in with that. Now you're focused on it. So you make those commitments. Sometimes what we do, instead of just verbally asking for accountability, is we send out an email. And it says, here's what I'm committed to today. I'm focused on business development, and here's what it means to me, and here's what I expect to get out of it. A little short email. Usually when I do mine, at the bottom, I wrote, this email took me 91 seconds to write. Just so my team can go, oh yeah, it's not that big of a freaking deal to write an email and say, here's what business development is to me. All I'm doing is getting my mental juices focused on business development for the day.
I didn't even understand your request. For help, press *1.
I'd say, all right. There you go.
Wrapping it up here, make yourself accountable, send a daily email. I'm going to skip through this for time's sake. To sum it up today, what we're looking at is working smarter, making more money, and crowding the top of the leaderboard. Who's against that? Right, nobody raises their hand ever. So we all want to make more money. We all want to crowd the top of the leaderboard. If you don't, you're just simply in the wrong business. Because this business is about performance, and this particular program will not just help you perform in this industry, but it'll set the pace for life. I guarantee it'll get you that extra 1 degree, probably an extra 5 or 10 degrees. And that's what we want to see. So thanks for hearing me out today. I appreciate it. It's been a pleasure being in your store, and hopefully I'll see more of you guys in the future.